for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Yes, it's Free Talk Live, the live call-in radio show where you can talk about whatever you would like to talk about. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
And nobody.
And we have been talking about this headline from ABC News. Suspect found dead after Judge Esther Salas' son shot and killed and husband injured at their New Jersey home. Just as a recap for those just tuning in, the suspect in the fatal shooting of a federal judge's son, who was an attorney that had a previous case in front of the judge, has been found dead. Law enforcement sources told ABC News. The son of Judge Esther Salas was shot and killed, and her husband shot and injured in an attack at the family's New Jersey home on Sunday night. The suspect, a white man who wore a face covering and a FedEx uniform, law enforcement sources told ABC News, and he used an ordinary car to make the getaway. The suspect has been identified as Roy Dan Hollander, a Manhattan lawyer, self-described anti-feminist. Multiple law enforcement sources briefed in the case told ABC News, and the FBI has confirmed. So we were talking about the fact that his body was discovered in a car by a municipal employee in Rockland, New York. So I don't know how far that is from wherever he was in Jersey, but apparently a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And he had a FedEx package addressed to Judge Salas with him, and we were discussing, was that a prop? Was there something in the package? And we didn't get much further than, speculating on, whether the package was a prop. We talked about that a bit. But do you think something was in the package? Like if he had a thing and he was trying to, get some sort of revenge, or, if it was a vindictive killing, kind of a thing, like would he, is there a bomb in the box or something like that,
Could be. My best guess would be it's going to be an empty box. But then again, that's also guessing from the idea that this played out like an ordinary crime. But, this could also be an Epstein blackmail case, in which case you don't expect anybody to make sense. And picking somebody who actually knew the judge would then be just a way of introducing confusion.
Right.
A red herring. So, it's very hard to say from a distance.
The FedEx spokesman, Jim Masalek, said in a statement, "We are aware of the media reports and are fully cooperating with the investigating authorities." About 5 p.m. on Sunday, the gunman knocked at the door to the family's North Brunswick home. Daniel answered the door and was shot first before his father was also shot. He was shot through the heart, Womack said of Daniel, who was a student at the Catholic University in Washington, D.C. Daniel was a rising junior, enrolled for classes beginning in the next few weeks. He turned 20 last week. "We all mourn and grieve this loss to our university community," said the university president, John Garvey. Salas.
What did these people know about Hillary Clinton? That's the question.
Have they ever had dinner with the Clintons? We don't know.
Have they been picking their toes in Poughkeepsie?
The judge, Salas, had received threats in the past, sources said. Authorities are investigating whether there's any connection between those prior threats and the shooting, or whether it possibly involved the husband's work as a criminal defense attorney. So it may not be that the judge was the target, but it may be the husband who was a criminal defense attorney.
So it's too soon to judge?
Too soon to judge the murder of the judge's family? Yeah. I'm not judging. As a judge, quote, she had threats from time to time, but everyone is saying that recently there had not been any, said Mayor Womack, who is personal friends with the judge and her husband. In 2015...
Well, if you're going to be a politician, you got to be connected.
Yeah. In 2015, a case before Salas, Dan Hollander represented a woman who wanted to register for the military draft. He was replaced last June as the woman's lawyer before the case was fully resolved. The court docket did not indicate a reason for his replacement, and the woman's current attorney could not be reached, so they're speculating here about what a tie might be. Dan Hollander had previously sued Manhattan nightclubs for favoring women by offering ladies' night discounts and sued the federal government over laws that protect women from violence. Interesting.
Okay. I would have to say that ladies' nights has benefits for both sides.
I certainly enjoy a good ladies' night.
I mean, hey, drunk chicks.
I love them.
Maybe he was gay.
I mean, it depends on the perspective and what happened and, all that kind of a thing. I don't know enough about this guy or why he might sue for those things, but he also sued Columbia University for offering women's studies courses, accusing the school of using government aid to teach, quote, religionist belief system called feminism, unquote. I don't know if I disagree. Feminism is kind of a religionist belief system. As a factual statement,
Well, Animal Farm had 2 legs bad, 2 legs bad, 4 legs good is what the sheep all chanted on Animal Farm. Have you read it by George Orwell?
I have not read it. I've skimmed bits and pieces of it and pulled choice quotes out of it, of course, but
nice.
I have not read the whole thing. No.
Highly recommended. Or there's they did it as a cartoon. Believe it or not, which was very good. But, there is a certain amount of, if you will, 2 legs good, 3 legs bad in the feminist movement.
Yeah.
So
I think that I didn't read it because when I was in middle school, I did a play. It was one of these summer theater productions that was sponsored by the school. And it was called 1984. Oh. And it was about George Orwell's book, 1984. I was a thought policeman in the production.
Was it a production of the book, or was it about the book?
It was a production of the book, a musical, no less. And so we got to sing songs like "War is peace, ignorance is strength, and slavery is freedom," which is a vamp on the quote.
Sounds like a good. It sounds like a good imitation of Soviet era music too.
Yeah, it very much was. There was the music instructor. I'm trying to remember her name right now, but she played this really ominous sounding just piano thing, dun 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 dun, kind of behind the singing, and it was very much a chant more so than it was us doing 3-part harmonies in choir style or anything like that. It was interesting, and I think that early on, that was my first exposure to the predictions of George Orwell and his writings and that kind of a thing. And so I think that kind of threw me for a loop, and I was like, I already participated in a production of one of his books. I don't, I think I've been a part of the best of his work or something. I had some sort of bias towards it. So when Animal Farm crossed my view, I was just like, I don't want to read that, and so I skipped over it.
Yeah, one stage play, though, can never get in the intellectual complexity of 1984.
Indeed.
It's definitely worth reading it, or at least watching a serious adult movie of it.
Certainly a seed as a primer, at least for me anyway, kind of like watching The Matrix, kind of helps turn you into an anarchist or a libertarian. 855-450 free like freedom. Give us a call. Let us know what you think. We've got more on this murder of a judge coming up.
News from news.bitcoin.com. The IRS is requesting information about privacy cryptos from people that are still filing their income tax forms. Coinbase may be planning to go public on the stock market this year. Stablecoin Tether is now circulating on the Bitcoin Cash network. Bitcoin.com is your source for getting started with cryptocurrencies, getting a wallet, buying Bitcoin Cash, mining, and all the latest cryptocurrency news at news.bitcoin.com. Log on now at news.bitcoin.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone? You forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection. You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to Free Talk Live, the live Monday night edition, the Kickass version. I am your host this evening, the Reverend Captain Kickass. In the studio tonight, it's myself and nobody. And I wanted to tell you about local.bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. And I must issue a slight retraction. On the way out into the break, I said we'll have more about this judge's murder. It was not, in fact, a judge who was murdered. It was the judge's son who was shot and killed, and also her husband, who was shot but is in ICU, apparently in stable condition. So the judge herself was not injured. So going on with the article, and also joining us at a last minute, it's Lee.
Peakless Mountaineer.
Lee. You ever heard that song?
Captain, my Captain.
Yeah, you know that song, right? Okay, all right. So we've been talking about from ABC News.
Captain Poems. Okay, you reminded me. I wanted to
Poems?
follow up on something
I am
you
the captain
said.
of my soul.
You said the other day with the end of Invictus, which is no matter how great,
favorite poem.
How great the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate, and I the captain of my soul.
Nice.
But you said a phrase that reminded me of that.
Yes.
So you should read the poem Invictus. I recommend it highly.
Okay.
Read all the things.
I'll read everything just as soon as I can.
Groovy.
We've been talking about this article from ABC News about Judge Salas. Her family apparently has been the target of a crime, murdering her 20-year-old son, shooting her husband, and injuring him severely. And we've been talking about sort of the history. This article is speculating on what the ties might be, threats that she may have had in the past. They said in 2015, a case before Salas, Den Hollander represented a woman, Den Hollander being the suspect who was found dead in a car, apparently of a self-inflicted gun wound. He represented a woman who wanted registered for the military draft.
Does it say whether he shot himself twice in the back of the head, or
it does?
Sometimes
it just
they
says,
do that.
It just says of apparent self-inflicted gunshot wounds, so it's not specific. They don't enclose a photo or anything like that. So, at any rate, Den Hollander had previously sued Manhattan nightclubs for favoring women by offering ladies' nights and things of that nature, and he also sued Columbia University for offering women's studies courses. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy called the shooting, quote, a brazen and cowardly act of gun violence at their home in North Brunswick. We give our full support to Judge Salas and her husband at this most trying time. This is an
Whenever they say
unconscionable
gun
tragedy.
violence, I flash back to Archie Bunker arguing with his daughter, and Gloria says, do you know that almost 30,000 people a year are killed with firearms? Which is a lie. It's a false statistic. And he responds, would you feel better if they was pushed out of windows, little girl?
I did like All in the Family was one of those shows that I watched, but I didn't get it. The content was a little too adult for me, even when it was in syndication, right? Like some of the jokes
My mother
I got.
tells me the same thing, in that she was an adult. She was born during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
But she said when she first encountered Archie Bunker, there had never been parody like that, social satire like that on TV. Really? And she thought that Archie Bunker's position was the position that the people making the show actually held, and she hated it. But then she realized, and she liked it.
Right.
It was well, kind of like my reaction was to South Park when I was first encountered.
Yes.
Was I think they're homophobes and probably anti-Semites, and then I found that at least one of them is gay and at least one of them is Jewish.
Yeah. Well, All in the Family addressed a whole host of different social issues.
Oh yeah,
racism, homosexuality, all that kind of stuff. Like and they were like groundbreaking during their time. Now you go back and you watch it and you're like, oh well, we've society's talked about all this stuff before and we're well beyond that. But at
saying
the
it
time,
then was a big deal.
It was certainly a big deal. And
I will say the one of the finest backhanded compliments I've ever seen was Sammy Davis Jr. on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
that was a good episode.
Absolutely.
How is that a backhanded compliment?
Oh, it was this beautiful. I can't remember exactly the way he phrased it.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where it came out like he was on your side, and pointed out just what an awful person Archie Bunker was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to me, a backhanded compliment, the most common one is something like, Lee, I don't care what anybody says, you're a great host on Free Talk Live.
Oh, nice.
And that's supposed to, like, you're like, oh, thank you, because you think it's a compliment, but then you get to thinking about it, you're like,
on the way home,
wait,
I'm like,
what?
Everybody says what?
What does everybody else say?
Yeah, that's a really nice shirt for what you spent on it.
Exactly. So
very nice clothes. Do they come in men's sizes?
One more thing about All in the Family and Archie Bunker is that was my first experience with a television series that had a spin-off, right? Because the Jeffersons were a spin-off of that.
And I love the Jeffersons because it addressed a racist black man.
Yes.
And made him pretty much Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
So it was a good evening of the thing.
Yeah. Good times. So spinning back.
Good Times was good.
I liked What's Happening better than Good Times.
Dynamite.
Rerun invented breakdancing from Good Times, right? Roger and the gang.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Rerun was the dancing fat black guy. And he would, and like that's how like poppin' and lockin' and stuff got invented, was from, stuff that he was doing on TV, and it popularized that type of movement within the dance community.
Wow.
And that's the roots of breakdancing comes from Rerun from the show What's Happening. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, Google all this stuff. Google What's Happening if you're, in the mood for some 70s television, because that's where it came from.
The scary thing about thinking about old entertainment, though, is like, I always thought that like 80s movies were a little bit rapey. There was a lot of like, throw her up against the wall and kiss her, and if she doesn't smack you, it's okay. And the thing is, it really kind of made me rethink my perspective on that when I went back and said, oh, all those movies were produced by an actual rapist. Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
So we all learned to date from a serial rapist.
Well, that's nice.
That's frightening. Or my generation and your generation, not so much yours. But I mean, I'm sure
Still seeps into the culture for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you were exposed to the culture, just like I was exposed to Monty Python, which was before my time.
And the amazing thing about that is how it was always an open secret. Everyone who was in that business knew that all of this was going on all of the time, and never once thought to actually say something.
And Oprah Winfrey was still delivering him girls.
Yeah. I think it was largely due to what I call the boss-employee relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So in this instance, he's got all the money. He's the big producer. He, can tell people what to do and not do. He's got all the connections, and so everybody has this like fear of him. Right? Like if they don't do right by him, then they might not be able to act again, or might not be in this part and might not get
He'll
this
never
movie.
work in this town again.
Exactly. That adage has been perpetuated throughout all of Hollywood movies, right? Any movie about an actor and actress, the fear is always, there's some evil person that's, trying to get their way, and they're like, you'll never act in this town again, right? You hear that repeatedly, so...
But how is there only one town where movies can be made? Well, guess what? One group of people has all the lawyers, and when it's about copyright, it's all about the lawyers.
That is a fact. 855-450-3733 is our phone number if you'd like to get on the air and talk about anything we've been talking about, or whatever you like. 855-450-FREE. We've got more Free Talk Live coming up.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNlife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I have treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNlife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Have you ever thought about turning your Glock, XD Family, or 1911 handgun into a semi-automatic carbine? It only takes about 30 seconds. The MacTech Carbine Upper is classified as an accessory and can be delivered right to your doorstep with no FFL or background check required. It's the world's most versatile pistol accessory. Build your custom upper today. Simply go to handgunconversion.com. That's handgunconversion.com.
The FBI has successfully executed a raid on the Visa Corporation, exposing what could be the largest credit card scam in U.S. history. According to authorities, the Visa syndicate for years fooled millions of Americans by issuing convincing-looking credit cards carefully designed to dupe consumers into spending far more money than they had. Investigators believe the fraudulent corporation also lured victims in with enticing rewards programs and free gifts, thereby trapping them in a spiral of debt they could never hope to repay. According to the results of a groundbreaking new study, 96% of humans would rather be a singing, dancing animatronic bear. The study finds that a great majority of people on the planet would prefer to trade in their regular lives for one in which they sat on a plastic log, strummed a banjo, and sang songs on a stage with all their goofy bear friends. Respondents also stated that not being a sentient human being with feelings of doubt, sadness, and pain contributed to the decision.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Yes, welcome back to Free Talk Live. It's the Kickass edition. Our toll-free number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And you can call in and talk about, well, whatever you'd like.
We're here to kick ass and eat egg rolls, and we're almost out of egg rolls.
Yeah, indeed we are. With you in the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
Peakless Mountaineer.
What? Peakless?
Peakless Mountaineer. Yep.
Groovy.
Okay.
And nobody.
All right.
Well, it's the opposite of a bottomless pit is a peakless mountain.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So instead of spelunking, you're climbing.
That's the idea.
Very well.
I'm on the way up.
I got to use spelunking on the air. That's pretty cool. That's a good word. I like it.
It
means going into a cave.
Oh, I thought that was when you
there
made
are
it.
Stalactites.
I thought that was when you made a hole in somebody's head because they were crazy.
No,
that's trepanning.
Trepanning. Okay.
Yes.
Which did occasionally work if you had a pressure buildup. And only then.
Right.
Although if you go spelunking and hit your head on a stalactite, you might end up needing trepanning.
You stalagmite end up needing it?
Stalactite?
Stalagmite. You just stalagmite.
You just stalagmite might end up... Okay, that was bad. I was stretching.
We're going to talk about all sorts of fun stuff, but first I wanted to tell you that Intercoins programmable coins are designed to help groups raise money for a new project or initiative in a way that is compliant with regulations. Coins can represent securities that obey individual rules like not being sold to U.S. residents for 40 days. Purchased coins can contain rules that govern how they are to be spent and when they can be cashed out. And Intercoin itself is designed to provide full trustless liquidity between any currency pairs, removing the need to list coins on exchanges to enable secondary trading. Intercoin is attempting to regain some of our freedoms that are threatened on the internet and in the real world. We think that it's important here on Free Talk Live, so important that Free Talk Live accepted $40,000 worth of Intercoin tokens from Intercoin Inc. in exchange for advertising. If you think freedom is important too, check out Intercoin at intercoin.org. You can invest in this project and potentially make big gains, or just be involved and perhaps shape its future. That's intercoin.org. We're going to switch gears here a little bit from the family shooting of a judge in New Jersey. And we want to talk about something that not a lot of news outlets are talking about, and in fact, I was surprised to see this when it crossed my feed, because everybody talks about, the government shutdown, hurting businesses, small businesses in particular. They're defining now who's essential and who's not essential without anybody ever voting on it, But what they're not talking about is the parts of the economic pie, the puzzle, if you will, where some of these businesses, a good percentage of them anyway, are actually reducing their wages. And so we have an article from Politico that I believe the Peakless Mountaineer is going to roll with. Did you have something to say?
I gotta say, falling wages are an inevitable reaction to a reduction in demand for labor. So the fact that it's happening is somewhat unremarkable. But let's see what remarks they have to make about it.
Amazing how that demand for labor goes down when people aren't allowed to, open their shops.
Right.
Yeah, because
and
all
are
those
getting
people
paid,
who lose, all those people who lose their job are like, well, you're paying him $12 an hour to do that. I'll do it for $11.
Right, and we've talked about the inequity in the unemployment claims plus the extra $600 on top of it, where you get people who would otherwise need to find a job to survive making more than they would if they actually went out and got a job. So that affects the labor market as well.
Although, given that they're being forcibly prevented from getting a job, really, the government kind of owes them that money for taking away their right to work.
Right, but it certainly increases the inflation and reduces the value of every dollar that's spent.
Like one of my Rasta friends asked me about reparations for slavery, and I said, well, the U.S. government owes an infinite amount of reparations to every American. So what we should do is we should tear it down, we should seize its property, and we should take both their property and their power and give them to the Americans.
Auction it off.
Like good reparations.
Yeah, auction it off, divvy up the money. If you've got an actually useful piece of government, incorporate it, print 300 million shares, and give one share to every American.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, let's check out this article, shall we?
All right. So from Politico here, America's hidden economic crisis: widespread wage cuts. Employers are using cuts to stay afloat during the recession, an unusual move that could signal deep damage to the labor market.
Now, it's interesting that it says they're using cuts to stay afloat, but the problem is the cuts, not the fact that the businesses are barely afloat. Interesting.
And not the fact that you have these businesses that, just like the rest of us, have to pay rent on their buildings.
Yeah.
And just like the rest of us, had a little bit of trouble actually getting their rent together during these complete shutdowns.
In this article, they're positioning it as a part of the cascade of effects.
Right.
All right. Millions of Americans who managed to hold on to their jobs amid the coronavirus pandemic have seen their incomes drop as employers slashed wages and hours to weather what they expected to be a short-term shutdown. Yeah, I remember that.
2 weeks, everybody.
It's just 2 weeks.
We only need
2 weeks to slow the flow, or whatever it is they were doing. Sand the curve, or
sand the curve. File the curve down. Or,
I can't remember what they were trying to do, but it didn't work, whatever it was.
So now with the virus raging and the recession deepening, those cuts that were meant to be temporary could turn out to be permanent, or even pave the way for further layoffs.
Shutting down the economy kills businesses. Newsflash.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is like the perfect storm for just destroying as many, honestly, as much of the middle class as you possibly can, because two of the things that really helped a lot of people stay in the middle class was they would have property that they would get renters from, and they would have their business.
Yep.
So you shut down the business, and I mean, okay, great. Now you have to pay rent for 3 months that you weren't allowed to operate. And guess what? All of your renters are having trouble paying their rent.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's the perfect way to just completely annihilate the middle class.
Agreed.
It seems like they're trying to demoralize society. You know, because it seems clear to me they're lying about the disease. Man, not its existence, but its severity. I read an article the other day that said that vaccine makers are concerned because so few people are getting sick from the Rona that they might not be able to tell whether their vaccines are effective. And I'm like, then we really don't need the vaccine, do we, you morons? Stop making it.
Yeah.
Well, really, it's our fault. We just need to have more of us get sick so that they can find out if these are good vaccines or not good vaccines.
If I get sick, I'm going to start hanging out at police stations and donut shops.
Well, and the thing about the vaccines is, there's vaccines for all sorts of things, including the flu, that don't prevent you from getting the flu, right? They're supposed to, but people still get the flu all the time anyway.
As a matter of fact,
because you're running around in a sea of viruses.
Right.
They're everywhere all of the time. You pick them up constantly. And that's the thing. Okay, great. I get hundreds of these things every year. Who knows how many? And my body just ends them. Okay, so when they make these flu vaccines every year, they go, okay, well, I think this one's going to be a problem. I think this one's going to be a problem. And they just sort of mishmash the ones that they think are going to be a problem.
It's like gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they take all of these potentially worst viruses, they mash them up, and in some cases they're using live culture vaccines. So if they miscalculate the dosage so that, little too much of this one, that's not too little of the virus to overwhelm his immune system, guess what? They just started an outbreak.
Right.
The mumps outbreak on the ship, everybody who got it was vaccinated.
Wow.
Now, that's not to say they got it from the vaccination, but it's certainly possible that that they did. And also, if your government is hostile to you, like you're a political activist, it's really easy to give you the hot shot, and nobody will ever know why you died.
Indeed. 855 450 free like freedom. Have you ever gotten a vaccination shot and then gotten sick from it? I know I have. Give us your calls and your thoughts. We've got more Free Talk Live coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,810, silver at $19.65, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,132. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic have already devastated the world. Over 14 million people have tested positive for the virus, and nearly 600,000 have died since it was first identified in December. And cases continue to rise. But the human cost from the economic fallout could be worse than the virus itself, as the world plunges into a deep and possibly prolonged recession, which will lead to disease and starvation across the global south. Mint-Press News reports that's why the international charity, Oxfam, is calling on the international community to agree to its proposal of an economic rescue package for all. The package entails 6 key features that it hopes to lay out across the world. The consequences of inaction will be extremely serious. As many as 12,000 people could die every day from COVID-linked hunger, which is more than those dying daily from the virus itself. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The Aurora, Colorado Police Department has been under scrutiny over the death of Elisha McLean for over the last month since it finally got the attention it deserved. Now, they are now facing yet another lawsuit after an officer with the department held a doctor at gunpoint on his own property for no reason. The Free Thought Project reports Dr. P.J. Palmer, who is an Indian American, was dropping off gear from a Boy Scout trip at the Mango House building, which is a community center and shared space for refugees that he owns. For those who may be unaware, Palmer founded Artist Family Medicine, a private practice that serves settled refugees, and Mango House, a home for refugees with activities and services that include dental care, food and clothing banks, churches, scout troops, and after-school programs. He's a pillar of the community and a selfless man who has dedicated his life to helping others. U.S. Customs and Border Protection published a new assessment titled Privacy Impact Assessment for the CPB license plate reader technology, outlining the agency's plan to combine its database on license plate images with ones from local and state governments, law enforcement agencies, parking garages, toll booth cameras, and financial institutions. Activist Post reports the U.S. has a massive network of automatic license plate readers typically found on police cars and toll booths, used to collect license plates of vehicles passing by. In particular, one database, called the Wrecker Public Safety Network, law enforcement are given real-time access to license plates. It captures approximately 150 million plate reads per month. To better protect the nation, the CPB's new assessment indicates it now wants direct access to those databases. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Americans everywhere are enjoying their Sundays after successfully completing Mother's Day in less than 20 minutes this morning. Dads were able to wrap up breakfast in bed by 9:18 a.m., giving them plenty of time to mill about the garage for the rest of the afternoon. While children who spent a minute and a half this morning hugging their mothers are currently out playing street hockey. And after completely fulfilling their Mother's Day obligations with a store-bought card, teens are now free to leave and spend the day with their friends. The moms, who were quickly and efficiently lavished with cards, flowers, assurances of love, and 7 full minutes of family togetherness, praised the competency with which the holiday was carried out.
Oh, it was great. Charles and the kids made me feel completely appreciated, but they ended the holiday before I even got out of bed. Guess I'll go water the plants now.
But before the day-long celebration concluded early this morning, moms had their own job to do, making a brief, obligatory phone call to their own mothers.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Yes, it is Free Talk Live. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Monday night edition. I am your host, the Reverend Captain Kickass. Joining me in the studio tonight, it's
Peakless Mountaineer.
The nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
And I was mentioning during the break to you guys that I've been discombobulated since I got here. It's not a usual night. There were some technical-y things pre-show to get the show launched, some challenges that I was having. I had to make a phone call to the man himself who walked me through some things. We got the show up and running, but then I apparently didn't start the stream on time, and thanks to our Discord folks for letting us know. Otherwise, it may have gone on for longer than it should have. I'm feeling discombobulated, so it's the discombobulated
I think that
edition.
is going on longer than it should have. It's supposed to start at the same time the show does.
So anyway.
But longer than it did.
So I'm feeling a bit discombobulated. Pardon me, but it is hard to find good help around here. I don't know whose idea it was to give the captain
I'm always here to kick you when you're down.
I appreciate that about you. I know I can count on you for that, and thank you for being there for me.
Yeah, well, kicking of ass is an important job, and you can't let it stop.
In these
we can't
trying
lower our
times.
standards on these things.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Anybody with a pair of stones is essential personnel.
Lowered expectations. Yes.
Oh, this cute little girl delivered the Chinese food to me. I mean, not little. She was like 19 or 20, but she was adorable. She didn't have a mask on, and she's like falling over herself, apologizing. And I'm like, this is an anarchist house, baby. Ain't nobody scared of nothing here.
Wow. Creepy Uncle Nobody harassing the 18-year-old Chinese delivery person. Nice.
Yeah, just of all the people
adorable.
to apologize for not having a mask on.
Yeah. I mean, if and when Walmart requires masks, I'm going to be showing up in a Guy Fawkes mask.
I think that kicks in today, right?
Yeah.
On the 20th, yeah.
You want to go down with tomorrow and walk around in Guy Fawkes masks and not buy anything?
Not tomorrow, but soon.
Okay.
Yes.
Not today, maybe not today, and maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life.
Well, I mean,
Casablanca.
Let's hope not.
My gut reaction to Walmart's announcement
that sounds like the 11th circle of hell right there. You just wander around in a Walmart forever, and sorry.
Yes, thank you.
That does sound like the 11th circle of hell right there. You just wander around in a Walmart forever and don't even get to buy anything.
Yeah. Well, the quote was actually from Casablanca, and it's if
you don't get on that plane now, you'll regret it. Maybe not today and maybe not tomorrow,
but soon for the rest of your life.
Frankly, my dear scallop, I don't give a clam. Anyway, discombobulation is the word of the day. If you don't know what that word means, go ahead and look it up. There'll be a vocabulary test later this week, so
it's
pay attention.
It's one of those words, like nobody's ever combobulated and nobody's ever gruntled.
Yeah, I've never gone around, but I'm really combobulated today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm whelmed by my combobulation.
Yeah. Although I do know I was in negotiations with a company. They wanted me to move from Tampa to Orlando, and they offered me some amount of money to do it. And I said, oh, well, I'm underwhelmed by your offer.
Why is it you can be underwhelmed and overwhelmed, but
But
never
not whelmed.
right in the middle?
Yes.
Yes.
So the next time somebody asks, "Hey, how you doing?" and you're feeling like fair to middling or whatever, you're like,
Whelmed.
I'm
whelmed.
whelmed. Yeah, I'm
not
whelmed. How are you?
overwhelmed, but I'm not
Yes,
underwhelmed.
I'm whelmed.
Well, they might just think you said well and try not to notice that that's not a word.
We're
Don't
probably
you think that's overkill? No, I think that's just enough kill.
No, I've seen Overkill live a number of times. That's certainly not them.
Oh, okay. Are they good?
They're great, man. If you've never seen Overkill, the metal band live, Bobby is probably one of the most underrated metal singers in all of heavy metal. And he's an East Coast guy, too, so they're all, sort of, New York, New Jersey-ish area.
Yeah.
High
See,
praise
I'd
from the
like to.
captain.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the guys who do "Ain't No Rest for the Wicked." I'm not a big metalhead, but that.
Are you talking about Ozzy Osbourne?
No.
Rest for the Wicked?
It's a song. It's about a guy. It starts out guys being
You mean the
approached.
Kid Rock song? Or?
He's being approached by a hooker. I think the band is called
Kid Rock.
Walk the Elephant, and he says to the hooker, why do you do this to yourself? And she says, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money doesn't grow on trees. I got bills to pay. I got mouths to feed, and ain't nothing in the world for free. I don't know why. I would really like to see that band. I like the song.
Well, if you're out there and you know this band, give us a call at 855-450-FREE and let us know how nobody can go and see that band.
Yes.
We are going to swing back around to this article from, where is it? Politico, about America's hidden economic crisis, widespread wage cuts, where it talks about one of the effects of the government shutdown of businesses and the high unemployment numbers at the peak. 45 million people, by the way, were unemployed. I think that might be down to somewhere around 30 at this point since the reopenings and whatever. But this is one of
30
the...
million people is 10% of the population.
Yeah.
Decimating our workforce.
Yes. The highest unemployment since the Great Depression.
Actually, if you decimate, don't you kill 90% and leave 10% alive?
A factor of 10, decim.
I thought it was the other way around.
Deca.
I knew it was a factor of 10, but I thought you killed 90% and left 10%.
I think it's the
and
other
then
way
they
around.
were decimated.
The way they say it does make you think that it's a lot worse than that.
That would also be a...
the way it's used, it sounds like, they got decimated as like they're gone.
I'm pretty sure there's a heavy metal band called Decimator.
Yeah.
If there isn't, there should be.
Yes. And there's and we should see if, when they play a show, do they leave 10% of the crowd, or do they, entertain 90% of the crowd? I wonder if that's true for those guys.
Yeah, it's
maybe
a
it's
good
like
question.
a Guar show, and about 10% of the crowd ends up with a big old mess.
I still have a Guar T-shirt somewhere in my, box of stuff that I never opened from the first show that I attended, because everybody wears just like a blank white T-shirt in hopes to, get sprayed and splattered. It's kind of like a heavy metal Gallagher, but instead of getting hit with like watermelon juice, you're getting hit with like fake jizz and blood and all sorts of fun stuff. Because Guar, well, they were amazing. So
that's interesting. I don't know. I used to go to Rocky Horror Picture Show and have people throw toast and shoot me with squirt
rice,
guns.
yeah.
And rice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it happens.
It was a good time.
So we were reading from this Politico article.
So it was saying that these cuts that were meant to be temporary could turn permanent or pave the way for future layoffs. And that could portend deep damage to the labor market and the economy because so many workers who have kept their jobs have less money to spend than a few months ago.
You think?
Yeah, right. The numbers haven't received...
But the non-workers have more money.
Oh, yeah.
If you lose your job, maybe you're making twice as much as you were making when you were working off ridiculous unemployment.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time moving forward. Like, all these people got just this little bump of extra, and we are about to hit a wall.
Yeah, I think that ended this week, because even though that extra $600 ends like on the end of the month, for whatever reason, their accounting practices say that, it has to be submitted by like the end of the week on a Tuesday or something. So like this is the last week for the $600 bonus. So starting next week, that $600 bonus is gone, according to my sources.
That sounds right.
Wow.
Yeah. The numbers haven't received the same attention as job losses, which are highlighted every week in government data, but at least 4 million U.S. workers have received pay cuts since February, even as they continued working the same job, and millions more have seen pay freezes, according to the economists from the Federal Reserve and the University of Chicago, who put out a study analyzing the data from the payroll processing company ADF.
You've got
ADP,
30
right.
million more unemployed people. Why are you going to give the employees you still have a raise? There's 30 million people who want their jobs now.
There is a glut in the labor market.
Yep.
Yeah, that is true. And, this is just one of the many effects, cascading effects. We haven't seen we haven't hit bottom yet, in my opinion.
Not nearly.
And it's coming, and it's coming up fast. For those who aren't paying attention. So if you're not prepared for some type of a crisis, now is a good time to start thinking about that.
Quick, somebody panic.
855-450-FREE. We've got more Free Talk Live coming up.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward Liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the Liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Maxwell, he was a runaway to rescue, great disposition. About 9 years ago, he was scratching a lot, and he started losing some hair. My vet, she says, oh, he must be allergic to the chicken. Another vet said, it's the grain. Third vet, she says it's the weather, something in the air. And then somebody said, DINOVITE.com. I had been listening to these Dynavite ads, hearing about different stories of different people, and it just clicked. I got my first 90-day supply, and it took a grand total of 2 weeks. And the dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Dynavite is nutrition.
And Maxwell loves it. Now he's close to 10. And the Dynavite is a big part of Maxwell's diet.
Dynavite for life. You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
And he's a spectacular dog.
DINOVITE.com.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Welcome back, everybody. That guy's laughing at me because I've been discombobulated all night. Ha ha, as he says in his song. Our toll-free number, of course, is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We're happy to take your calls and your thoughts about, well, whatever you'd like to talk about. Or you can talk about stuff that we've been talking about so far. We've talked about a judge's son who was murdered and husband shot. We've talked about some economic fallout. We've talked about wage cuts. I am your host tonight, the Reverend Captain Kickass. Joining me is
Peakless Mountaineer.
And the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
And we were covering this article from Politico that's talking about all of the wage cuts. And you mentioned in the break, I know we haven't gotten to it yet, but wage freezing, is that right?
Yeah, pay freezes. Let's see here.
Which doesn't mean they stop paying you. It means you don't get raises.
It means you only get paid when it's cold?
Yes, of
pay
course.
freeze, right? Oh, okay. All right.
No, it means you get paid in ancient forms of works of art, obviously. Freezes.
Oh, freezes. Right, I get it.
We're
going to talk more about that, but first, let's go to some of your calls and your thoughts. We have Gene, the Christian anarchist, calling in. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, I've got some examples of some fake COVID-19 numbers. Being in the medical industry, we have a little bit of inside information, so these are all third-party examples, so I can't really vouch for the accuracy, but I believe they're 100% true. And we've got two instances that are very similar. One in Florida and one here locally. A lady we know who has a mother in Florida. Her mother has breast cancer, unfortunately, so she was supposed to get a test 5 days before her surgery.
Okay.
Well, for whatever reason, she wasn't able to make her test, so the surgery had to be postponed. But then 5 days after the appointment time, she gets a notice saying that she was positive for COVID-19.
What?
She never even took the test. But
wow,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And this is not the only story like that, because today another friend of mine, he's actually a friend and a patient of ours, he said that he had a friend who went to an office to take a COVID-19 test. And he waited for an hour and a half, and he got tired of waiting, so he just left. He said, I don't need this stupid test.
Okay.
He also, a few days later, was notified that he was C19 positive.
Wow.
So I'm wondering now, this is just too incidental to get two of these that we know about.
Yeah.
And we also have a practitioner that we know who knows a doctor that was threatened with dismissal if they didn't write COVID on a death certificate.
Wow.
So things are really getting weird with this COVID. These numbers, I wouldn't believe any of these numbers. Yeah, I wouldn't believe any of these numbers. These numbers are garbage. So,
well, it certainly seems strange given the numbers of people that they say are dead, which is like 1 in every 5,000 people. So it's not a great number. It's not a huge number. But how is it that I don't know anybody who's sick? I haven't heard about anybody going to the hospital among, for example, my 8,000 Facebook friends and or even lamenting that one of their relatives had it.
Right.
You know,
and then
it's weird. It's very strange.
And in the news recently, they had this because hardly any young people die of COVID, so the news is just dying to find young people who have suffered from COVID and died. And so they posted this one story about this kid who was 20-something and died of COVID. And I don't know if you've seen that story recently. Well, you go in there and read the details on that, and it turns out that he had a COVID-19 test, and it turned out negative, but he was sick, and he died. And so they don't really know the cause of death. In fact, they were going to do an autopsy, and this was over 3 days ago. So the autopsy's got to be done by now, but you don't see them reporting on the results of the autopsy. So that obviously shows, to me anyway, that means that it wasn't a COVID death.
I'm sorry,
and,
what was that? Hang on, Jim.
So,
you said he tested negative for this, so the one thing they know that it wasn't.
I mean, tests can be wrong either way.
That's true.
But yeah, they're stacking the numbers. They're making the assumptions that fit their narrative.
So the test was negative, and so they were going to do an autopsy, and it's been enough time for the autopsy results to come in, and yet you don't hear any news about the results of that autopsy. So I suspect that the autopsy showed that he died of something else, and they're just going to slowly let that die out. But the story remains, because 3 days ago this was big headlines. So the story stays, the correction never gets published, and this is how the media has always
those are
done
some
things ever since I was young.
Yeah, those are some insane examples for sure. That's frightening, particularly, like, to me, if this were really a pandemic, the bodies would be piling up, particularly in, like, areas of the world where they don't have, I don't know, westernized medicine, for example, where they don't have social distancing, that, all the things that they're telling us to do to stay safe. But we don't hear about that. Now, I'm not reading international news on a daily basis, but I'm not hearing about foreign countries with, a lack of medical care where COVID is just, devastating communities and villages. Are you hearing anything like that, Gene?
No, of course not. And even, like you say, the numbers, we should all know somebody who's died. Now, we have a clinic, so we have thousands of patients that we see all the time, and we have about 50 patients that have tested positive. And 2 patients have died recently, but they were both elderly patients who had other health issues, and if they'd caught the flu, they probably would have died. So to use those numbers to scare people is really disingenuous. It's really not... it's not the scary thing that they're making it out to be.
What do you think?
And certainly masks aren't doing a darn thing.
Yeah, agreed.
What do you think's really going on? What do you think they're up to? Just ballpark. Give me a crazy theory, because I'm kind of dumbfounded by this whole mess.
Well, it's obviously an exercise, to me anyway, it's pretty obviously an exercise in control of the people to see how far you can get people to do what you're told. So they're saying jump. They're going to see how high the American people will jump. And using that, they're going to judge what their next step is, which eventually is full control of everybody. They don't want any free thought. They don't want any people critically examining what's going on. They want everybody to just be a little cog in the big machine.
Obedient workers, that's what they want. Just smart enough to churn the wheels and pull the levers and not think about the rest of their life when they're not doing those things. Thank you so much for the call tonight, Gene. That is some very frightening information and examples you have there. 855-450-3733. Do you have any examples of false data related to COVID? This is Free Talk Live. More coming up.
News from news.bitcoin.com. BTC miners give off a signal of intending to sell. Does this mean a bear cycle? New Zealand police seize $91 million from a Russian exchange operator. Anti-crypto SEC head stepping down, making Bitcoin ETFs more likely. And you can make money by referring people to exchange.bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is your source for getting started with cryptocurrencies, getting a wallet, buying Bitcoin Cash, mining, and all the latest cryptocurrency news at news.bitcoin.com. Did you know you can support freedom of speech just by visiting shop.freetalklive.com? You'll see links to Walmart, Love Java, Newegg, and more. Every day, Free Talk Live is at the forefront of the liberty movement as the biggest liberty-oriented talk show in the world, giving you a platform to be heard on any topic. Get listener-only specials without doing anything other than an extra click. Visit shop.freetalklive.com. Use the links and buy what you'd be buying anyway. Take action now. Save and support freedom. Visit shop.freetalklive.com. It's shop.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Yes, it's Free Talk Live. You are in the right place for the radio show where you can call and take control of the airwaves. Our toll-free number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. With you in the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
Peakless Mountaineer.
Nobody.
And let's just go ahead and go straight to your calls and your thoughts. We have Steve calling from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Steve, you're on Free Talk Live.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Pretty good. What's on your mind tonight, Steve?
Good. You guys remember the joke from the great philosopher Mitch Hedberg that said he thought of something, he tried to keep a pen handy because if he thought of something funny, he would write it down.
Yep.
But if he didn't have a pen, he would just convince himself that it wasn't funny. So this is the first time I've ever had a pen while I've been listening to the show. So I jotted a few things down.
You're taking notes. Okay. All right.
Yeah, number one.
Lay it on me.
Number
Gentlemen,
one.
I have
Cage,
some notes.
Cage the Elephant is the band you're looking for.
Hate the
Which
Elephant?
you were close. Cage, like
Cage the Elephant.
Cage.
Okay.
Okay.
Cage the Elephant is the band you were looking for. Number two, that judge's husband and maybe her son definitely had something on the Clintons. I don't know if they were, maybe they were just researching this QAnon stuff and, they didn't like that. So they're like, we need to nip this in the bud. Number three, the Arkansas mask mandate went into effect today.
Oh, sorry, man.
All kinds of fun rules with that.
Yeah, what does that mean? You have to wear a
still not
mask.
wearing mine.
You have to wear a mask in the bathtub when you're taking a bath, and you have to wear a mask when you're mowing your lawn, and you have to wear a mask whenever you're,
Well, it's funny because when you're at the gym, you have to wear a mask unless you're doing cardio, which to me, you're breathing harder, and I don't know, it's stupid.
Well, and like a
It's
heavier
stupid.
person.
It is the sum up of this whole story arc that's been going on for 4 months. It's all stupid.
Oh, it's dumb, and it's not. We're not done. We haven't reached peak dumb by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
And I wanted to point out, Steve, that for some people, cardio. If you're an overweight person, cardio could just be walking, right? For some people, that's cardio. So, like, for them to say, "Oh, you have to wear a mask unless you're doing quote cardio unquote," like, who decides what cardio is for these people?
Tell the gym I'm always doing cardio.
Yes. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, if that's the case, then when I'm eating, I'm doing cardio.
I do 16-ounce curls at the bar all the time.
Like, you need to watch what you eat. I do. I watch it, dip the spoon in, watch it all the way to my mouth. So, number four, you couldn't make All in the Family today.
Well, that's
that's true.
Great.
Like, so many things.
One of my
that you could
favorite
not
shows of all time. Archie Bunker reminds me of my father. My grandfather said much worse because he wasn't edited by television. And number five, no one made fun of Jews like Mel Brooks.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was actually my first thought when you said couldn't be made today.
Yeah.
I mean, like Blazing Saddles.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Blazing
Or
Saddles.
Jews in Space at the end of History of the World,
Right.
Part 1.
No, but anyway, that's just a few things that I thought of. But I wanted to talk about the COVID test. I know a person that works in a hospital here, and in Arkansas, they're not counting the number of cases. They're counting the number of positive tests.
Okay.
Yes.
Get tested,
Let me tell
retested.
you
You don't have
happens
to be
when
sick
someone-
to test positive.
Right. When someone tests positive, they turn around and test them again to make sure it wasn't a false positive. If that test is positive, they test them again to make sure that those two tests weren't false positives.
And let me guess, then
And
they
if
get
that test
triple
is
counted.
positive, well, then there's 3 positives that get added to the number, even though it's just one person.
Right.
Well, and you've definitely seen the focus shift from, the death rate, and suddenly, no, it's not about the death rate, it's about the cases.
Right.
What's
Well,
the
you
number of
can't get
cases, how
people
many?
terrified by the death rate when nobody's dying or when very few people are dying.
Arkansas has 2.2 million people,
Mm-hmm.
and right now, as of today, we have like 170 people in the hospital.
Wow.
But everybody's got to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Quick, somebody panic.
Yep.
Yeah, you asked the last caller what he thought the end game was, and honestly, I think that it's a real possibility that this is the perfect president for this to happen because he's just gullible enough to go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is an attack on the middle class, like you guys said, to destroy small businesses and decrease the size of the middle class, because who votes Democrat? Not the middle class.
Well, I mean, I would argue that voting is a horrible way to go about deciding how to run society. But you and I agree
Every
on
gang rape is a democratic success story.
You and I agree
the
on
majority gets what they want.
On many things, Steve. In my mind, I just think that this is some sort of a test to see how well the public schooling system has dumbed everybody down, right? And I also think that there's a couple of politicians sitting somewhere along with some of their rich-ass buddies who, maybe made like a $20 bet, something that's meaningless to them. But right now, somebody's going, okay, you win. You were able to make them all wear masks. Here's your $20.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's a real possibility. It's a possibility that this, that it did come from China, but all it was, or it may just be a new strain of the flu, and they saw an opportunity to say, hey, because the death rate, and I pointed this out maybe last week, but the death rate per 100,000 citizens has not increased any more than it has the last 5 years up to this point.
Right, so I remember that.
The death rate's the same as it has been the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. So, we curing other stuff. Or
I was saying, people don't talk about the great and wonderful things that this virus has done. I mean, heart attacks are down, cancer deaths are down, people slipping in the tub is down. I mean, it's a miraculous virus.
At the end of the day, there's a couple things I'm really pissed off about. One, if I want to walk into a bar to have a drink, and only 4 people can be sitting at the bar, there's 4 people in there. Well, sorry, the bar's full. No, it's not. There's 16, stools over there.
Yeah.
And I want to watch a dang baseball game. And it's coming back, but there's no fans. It's just weird.
Good luck with that. And I've predicted previously on Free Talk Live and also within my circle of friends, I don't think there's going to be NFL football this year. I think that the players union and the NFL aren't going to be able to agree on much of anything. They can't even really agree on stuff when it's time to renew their contract between those two organizations in like an off season, much less come together real quick to figure out how to have some semblance of that, with the COVID, the mandates and the closures and all that.
I really pay attention to 2 sports, and that's college football, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yep.
And Major League Baseball, which is just going to be weird, a 60-game season. Some of the players are like, oh, we're not going to play. It's just, I don't know.
They could do like they're doing.
COVID has screwed sports up.
They could do like they're doing with concerts and just make drive-in sports. Right, yeah. Tear down all the walls, tear out all the seats, and just allow people to park around the stadiums or the arenas and sort of watch.
And speaking of concerts, I want to ask you one thing, Captain, before I go. Have you ever heard of the band Norma Jean?
I have heard the name. I'm not familiar with their work.
I am familiar with their work, and I can tell you it's the very worst thing to wake up to. You will wake up completely in a very short period of time. I can tell you that much.
It is great workout music.
That's true.
Anyway, I would recommend just take a gander at what's been going on with with that band and one of the members of that band. The cancel culture kind of tried to sink their teeth into them, and it's pretty interesting stuff. But anyway, I'll leave you with that.
All right, brother. I appreciate the call. I will check them out for sure. Thanks for the call tonight, Steve. It is really interesting. I don't know what the end game is. What I do know is this seems very Pavlovian to me, right? Like, ding, everybody goes, oh, mask, right? How did that happen?
Yes, Lord, I will stay home and stop having a face.
855-450 free. We've got more on these subjects, plus your calls and thoughts here on Free Talk Live.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, Take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our made in the USA microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part? Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Do you ever say, I could care less, when you really mean the opposite? You mean to say, I couldn't care less. It's a common mistake. You are judged by how you speak, especially if you're looking for work, with so many more applicants than openings now. But even if you're not, avoiding common misstatements will help you make the most of the dozens of conversations and transactions that crowd your daily routine. So whatever you say, don't say whatever as a single word sentence. It's the most annoying expression in the American English language, according to a recent poll. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. But seriously, at the end of the day, you'll want to avoid this scenario, sounding like everyone else. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
What do you get when you add free to talk and then live? Well, you get Free Talk Live, of course. That's this radio program. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I was laughing inside my head there for just a second. Nobody, you said, thanks to Yoga Pants, every year is now the year of the camel toe?
It's true. It's true. I love the year of the camel toe. It's my favorite year.
That's the new Asian calendar that just repeats all of the time, right?
Yep, like Groundhog Day.
Nice.
Only
nice.
prettier.
I wanted to tell you about Liberty.menu. For years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping build one. That's Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for your community. At its core, it's a directory for events, businesses, and digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network so you can connect and share with others. Use of Liberty Menu, however, is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. That's liberty.menu.
Can we do a joke? Is that legal?
A joke? I mean, I'm sure we can, right? It's Free Talk Live.
Anarchist walks into a bar with a parrot on his head. Bartender says, "Where the hell did you get that mangy thing?" Parrot says, "New Hampshire, there's thousands of them."
I have a joke. Do you want to hear a COVID joke?
Okay, yeah.
You probably won't get it.
It's true. It's true. You don't do the face as well as the ironic dog, though. That's the meme that I've seen it.
Indeed. Let's just continue on in Free Talk Live tradition by going to your calls and your thoughts. We have Austin calling. Austin, you are calling from Miami, Florida, and are on Free Talk Live. Hello, Austin.
Houston, we have a problem.
Austin in Miami, going once. Austin has left the building. He didn't want to talk to us. Sometimes,
I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to.
Sometimes people get what we call stage fright. I know sometimes folks have tried to call in, and like a couple of my friends from back on the West Coast, I called in, but I hung up. I got too scared. It's like, really? You're scared of just talking to some people over the phone? Like, well, no, it's on the radio, right? And so I understand. So
social rejection is slightly more frightening than death itself.
Yes.
Nobody knows who you are.
You know who we are?
Yes.
Of course you do. But do you know who they are?
Nobody knows everything.
Nobody doesn't know nothing?
Ain't nobody got time to know nothing.
Nobody doesn't not know nothing. Which one is it?
Okay. Sorry, you blew my stack there.
I saw a little blood vessel in your head pop there, pal. That was pretty awesome. I haven't seen that before.
Stroke me.
Not that way.
It was very much like I would expect, if you get a replicant in a logic loop, just the head's about to explode.
Well, I'm a computer programmer, so I might have wrote that code in the. Although I wish that computers really did have the HCF instruction, which is halt and catch fire. And
that would make them a lot more fun.
That's what they did in the '60s when they hit a logic loop. They would halt and catch fire. And like, you remember Star Trek?
Yeah.
Illogical, and the thing bursts into flames. Microsoft would not even be in business in that world.
I have not experienced this phenomenon before, Captain.
Brain and brain. What is this brain you speak of?
I'm trying to remember there was a parody. I think it's called Star Trek. Right, it's on the Dr. Demento show or something, or Trekkin', Star Trekkin'.
Star Trekkin' across the universe on the Star Trek Enterprise
that might
under
not be
Captain
the one.
Kirk.
No, there was one where it was like,
Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow. Scrape them off, Jim.
Yeah.
It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Not as we know it. It's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it, Jim.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. All right. No.
You brought it up.
I did.
Bro.
No.
You brought it up. I am completely flow of consciousness. Sometimes I forget I'm even on the radio.
What?
So you bring it up. I'm gonna riff on it. If you have to hit the dump button, hit the dump button.
I would never dump you unless you, of course, violate the FCC.
You have dumped me.
Yeah. No, I personally have not.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought,
let's not start tonight.
I thought I dropped an S-bomb. No, I dropped all my S-bombs on Ian.
Right, but what happened on the radio show? Oh, snap.
Okay.
Yes, that's all right. Enough of the jokes. We're going to just switch gears a little bit here, and I realize that you're not prepared for this. But I have another article from theconversation.com that I wanted to make sure we talked about tonight. And this says, why do people believe con artists?
Because
right?
they're running the government.
Well, let's see what these fine folks over at theconversation.com have to say about it. What is real can seem pretty arbitrary. It's easy to be fooled by misinformation disguised as news and deepfake videos showing people doing things that they never did or said. Inaccurate information, even deliberately wrong information, doesn't just come from snake oil salesmen, door-to-door hucksters, and TV shopping channels anymore. Even the President of the United States needs constant fact-checking, according to this article.
Okay, the guy's a professional liar. All presidents are. All presidents always have been.
But they usually lull us into the sense of sleep where we don't know they're lying and can pretend that they actually like us.
Yes. He has made an average of 15 false or misleading public claims every day of his presidency.
Those are rookie numbers. He needs to get those numbers up if he's going to compete in politics.
And, you know, my joke, not joke, but my...
Where's he going to go competing in politics exactly?
Right. I mean, if you
Lord Emperor of Earth?
If you don't have these kinds of statistics...
If he could, he would.
...to put on your,
so would Obama.
your resume... and I say this to people all the time. They're like, well, we're the people. We control the government. No, you don't. If you did, you'd get some kind of a statistical report card about the behavior of government, how many people they've killed today and tomorrow and last week and last year and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, I always
they
say...
actually did a university, I forget which one, actually did a statistical analysis between the desires of the people and the policy. And they found out that if you like something, if everybody likes something, you have about a 30% chance of it happening. And if nobody likes something, then you have about a 30% chance of it happening.
Yeah,
it's one of those. It's one of those statistical miracles where they found two things that were in no way correlated.
What I say when people say we the people are in charge of the government, I say, well, great, end the war on me. Yes. I smoke weed. Stop being at war with me. Stop kicking down my doors. You say you can control it, then you're responsible for it. Make it stop.
Yeah,
and they can.
Asking for an example of the control that the people have results in them, right? You know, an aneurysm, almost like you had earlier today on the show.
But my programming.
What do I call it now? I call it, it's not Stockholm, it's, what's the other one?
Stockholm Syndrome is a syndrome.
What's the other one? It's cognitive Stockholm dissonance syndrome. It's all one phrase now. You put all of them together, it's just one phrase. Cognitive Stockholm dissonance syndrome. Anyway, the study of...
CSDS.
There you go. Yes, it's got an acronym now.
There you go.
Sweet. It sounds all official.
It must
true.
be real then.
Do you suffer from CSDS? You can now take this drug to cure yourself. The side effects include spontaneous anal bleeding, growth of a third eye.
Gotta tell you, the pill I took was pretty red and did not give me the anal leakage.
All right. Let's tone that down a bit.
We should go with the red pill then.
The study of business history reveals that people everywhere have always had a sweet tooth for the unreal, enthralled by what should be taken as too good to be true. Cognitive scientists have identified a number of common ways in which people avoid being gullible. But con artists are especially skillful at what social scientists call framing, telling us stories in ways that appeal to the biases, beliefs, and prominent desires of their targets. They use strategies that take advantage of human weaknesses. Now, what does this remind you of? I immediately think of politics.
Yeah.
Right? I immediately think of the mainstream media, right? We covered a story the other day about priming, right? Where, you repeat the same phrases over and over.
I wanted to talk to you a bit about priming when we get back from the break, actually. There was something I wanted to point out about
Prime topic. We'll come back to that.
We are primed for that topic now. And now we have also teased the topic, which means we are engaging in a form of priming of our listeners in the audience. So 855-450 free like freedom. If you'd like to get on the air and give us your thoughts on the matter, we've got more Free Talk Live coming up. You've been primed.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now's your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,810, silver at $19.65, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,132. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic have already devastated the world. Over 14 million people have tested positive for the virus, and nearly 600,000 have died since it was first identified in December. And cases continue to rise. But the human cost from the economic fallout could be worse than the virus itself, as the world plunges into a deep and possibly prolonged recession, which will lead to disease and starvation across the global south. Mint-Press News reports that's why the international charity, Oxfam, is calling on the international community to agree to its proposal of an economic rescue package for all. The package entails 6 key features that it hopes to lay out across the world. The consequences of inaction will be extremely serious. As many as 12,000 people could die every day from COVID-linked hunger, which is more than those dying daily from the virus itself. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The Aurora, Colorado Police Department has been under scrutiny over the death of Elisha McLean for over the last month since it finally got the attention it deserved. Now, they are now facing yet another lawsuit after an officer with the department held a doctor at gunpoint on his own property for no reason. The Free Thought Project reports Dr. P.J. Palmer, who is an Indian American, was dropping off gear from a Boy Scout trip at the Mango House building, which is a community center and shared space for refugees that he owns. For those who may be unaware, Palmer founded Artist Family Medicine, a private practice that serves settled refugees, and Mango House, a home for refugees with activities and services that include dental care, food and clothing banks, churches, scout troops, and after-school programs. He's a pillar of the community and a selfless man who has dedicated his life to helping others. U.S. Customs and Border Protection published a new assessment titled Privacy Impact Assessment for the CPB license plate reader technology, outlining the agency's plan to combine its database on license plate images with ones from local and state governments, law enforcement agencies, parking garages, toll booth cameras, and financial institutions. Activist Post reports the U.S. has a massive network of automatic license plate readers typically found on police cars and toll booths, used to collect license plates of vehicles passing by. In particular, one database, called the Wrecker Public Safety Network, law enforcement are given real-time access to license plates. It captures approximately 150 million plate reads per month. To better protect the nation, the CPB's new assessment indicates it now wants direct access to those databases. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Retail giant CVS is gearing up for floods of customers seeking the perfect meaningless piece of crap for their office gift swap. The company is making no secret that when it comes to wasting the obligatory $20 on a useless electronic dartboard or pretzel maker for someone you couldn't care less about, CVS is your best option.
Our incredible selection of worthless shit is just the thing that nobody wants. We guarantee you'll find nothing personal or unique in our store.
The company is offering massive discounts on otherwise unsellable items for holiday parties you don't even want to go to, like the $12 decorative lantern, which is expected to be a big hit with customers who grab the first thing they see when they walk in the store.
I really wanted to get something that said, I don't care about any of you people and I didn't put any effort into this.
CVS also has Hanukkah gifts for coworkers who you think might be Jewish, like candles and those little plastic net bags full of chocolate money.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Wow. Yes, it is Free Talk Live. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Kickass edition. It is Monday, July 20th, but you already knew that. We are here 7 days a week, of course, from 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. Eastern. If you are not listening to us on terrestrial radio, that is okay. And by terrestrial, I mean regular radio, like over-the-air stuff. You know that thing in your car where you could tune to a station? If you're not listening to us in that style, you can find us at freetalklive.com and lrn.fm and listen to us whenever we're on live. So I know some stations out there only get the program on certain days of the week. Other stations carry us all 7 days. It just depends on where you're at. But if you like the show and you like what we're doing, why, you can find us in a variety of different ways. There's also a handy app that you can get on the Google Play Store or your iPhone App Store.
Personally, I'm a
that
big
is
fan
a
of
handy
the
app, but
podcast.
no, I'm talking about one for Free Talk
Oh, you're
Live
saying to find the
specifically,
show,
right?
not
Yes,
to find us. Okay.
Yes. At any rate, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450.
I made the captain laugh.
3733. It's not hard to do. I have the sense of humor of a 12-year-old, so, fart jokes will probably do the trick for you.
I've got the body of a 17-year-old. I keep her in the basement.
Oh, not the fridge? You moved her, huh? Finally dried out enough for you to keep it in dry storage?
Yep.
Okay.
Why was the necrophiliac sad?
Why?
His girlfriend split.
Crack open a cold one.
That was bad.
Bad joke live. How many tough guys does it take to change a light bulb? None, because tough guys aren't afraid of the dark.
There you go. How many programmers does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know.
None. It's a hardware problem. How many mathematicians does it take to change a light bulb?
Oh, God. How many?
None. They tell the programmers to do it, thereby reducing the problem to a previously solved joke. The mathematician got it.
All right, so we were talking about why people believe con artists, this article from theconversation.com. And we'll talk about that more in just a minute. But first, I wanted to say thank you to somebody named _Freeman. That's the, and then the underscore sign, Freeman, probably the Freeman, who is a silver level amplifier of ours. And if you don't know what an amplifier is, head on over to amp.freetalklive.com to see all about the benefits that you get by becoming an amplifier. We only ask for $5 a month. You can pay more. There's different levels, and you get different little perks for being an amplifier. But the idea is, if you like the show, you like the content, if you like our stupid jokes, help us get onto more radio stations. We're on somewhere around 200 stations now, and we could be on more. It all depends on you, and that money goes exclusively to help us get on more radio stations. So it's not lining our pockets. We don't receive any of that money ourselves or anything like that. It goes specifically for that purpose. That's amp.freetalklive.com. Head on over there now.
Now.
Well, as opposed to later, you might forget, right? If you do it now, then it's done. You don't have to worry about it.
Not if you make a list.
Like Steve did from Arkansas. He was good. I liked your list, Steve. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So continuing on with this article is talking about...
listing a little to the port side.
The list.
Yes. More nautical here.
So before you get back into that,
yes, indeed,
I wanted to talk to you about... so you brought up priming. And one of the things I wanted to make sure that that people knew about priming is it's not just what people say.
Okay.
It's also something that happens in the environment. So like they did a test where like they put someone into a room and had them fill out a little bubble sheet about what they thought about things. And if you have a gun in the room, like they're much more ready for action and like worried about being attacked. And if you put a fern in, they're not.
Right.
See, I'm the opposite. Get me around a bunch of armed people, I feel safer.
Right, but that is true. And like that goes back to how marketing uses priming, right? Mm-hmm. They say something like, these numbers probably aren't exactly correct, but 7 impressions to make an impact and 7 impacts to form a cognitive thought. So if you have a product, nobody's gun store, right, and he wants to sell more guns from his gun store, well, he needs to make 7 times 7 impressions on people, putting his logo, his business, his website, his phone number, whatever, in front of people that many times to get them to make an impression. But then what happens is...
for those mathematicians in the
Thank you, mathematician. I appreciate that because I'm horrible at that kind of stuff. That is my weak suit of all weak suits.
I memorized my table.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, very well. I'm going to come to you with more math in the future.
Yeah. But I wanted to point that out especially right now because with, everyone walking around in masks, everyone is very much being primed to still think of this as, this absolute disaster and chaos and death lurking around every corner.
Fear, fear, fear.
Yeah, they don't want things to look normal because we won't be afraid if things look normal because it's not like we're getting the kind of news we would be getting like Aunt Matilda is dead that you would get during a real pandemic.
Right, yeah. I know, like, to our listeners out there who wear masks all the time, if you choose to wear a mask, that's okay. But just remember, when I'm wearing a mask, I'm the normal one. Or when I'm not wearing a mask, I'm the normal one. When I walk around, when I go into a store, anybody goes into a store. You see somebody without a mask, they're the normal ones.
You mean people are supposed to have faces?
People are supposed to have faces, yes. It's a large portion of human communication. Facial expression, when you're doing face-to-face communication, that is a huge part of how you discern whether or not somebody's trustworthy, whether they're telling the truth, whether or not they're giving you false information. People who have hearing problems, I happen to be one of them. I slightly rely on reading of lips. And guess what? Now everybody's got masks over their faces, and so when I go to the store, it's like Kenny from South Park is talking to me. Excuse me? I'm sorry, I can't hear you, right? This is my experience.
That they've taken in-person conversations and turned them into phone conversations.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We're all just phoning it in.
Yes. And, it occurs to me that in the previous pandemic, during the Woodstock era, right? That nothing shut down. There was barely a blurb in the newspapers. People who remember something about the pandemic.
If we were going to put on Woodstock now?
Oh, it wouldn't
what
happen.
they would say.
No, it would be like...
It would happen if we had enough guns.
Well, that's true.
Well, of course, that would be somewhat different from Woodstock.
Perhaps we should throw a concert called Gunstock.
There is. We could throw it at the state park called Gunstock.
Oh, even better. And the only ticket that you need to get in is to bring a gun.
There you go.
Right? A whole open carry concert.
Which doesn't mean you have to fight your way in. Just
yeah, nice. See, we're vamping on a theme here.
Okay. What about felons though? Could I get like an armored vehicle that didn't have an emplaced weapon and like be wheels for the militia?
I mean, so we didn't specify that it had to be like a firearm. We just said gun. So bring a Nerf gun.
There you go.
Bring a squirt gun.
There you go.
Super soaker. That might be fun.
I actually do want to get a. I don't know what those guns are called, but they're paintball guns. There's a particular name for them. Airsoft.
Oh,
gun.
the airsoft. Right. Yeah.
That would be a good thing.
BB gun.
You go.
Pellet gun. Cap gun. Right. Remember cap guns?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man.
There was
my
a
very
woman.
first explosions.
Yeah.
Also, my very first time I hit my thumb with a hammer because like I couldn't find the gun, but I had a roll of the what do you call it, the caps, right? And I was like, well, I'm gonna set them off anyway, and I'm out on the cement front stoop of the place where I lived, and I'm just hitting these things with a hammer, bang, bang, and then the next one didn't go bang, and I go ow, because I hit my own thumb. Yeah.
Still a loud noise, just a different source.
different. So priming.
Yeah. It's something that not only do you do it from saying something before you say it, for example, but it's something that you can pick up from your environmental context. Just whatever's around you in your environment will inform the way that you start thinking subconsciously.
Right. I know the article we covered on it was, all of these phrases that we hear, the new normal. When did you first start hearing that? Was it pre-COVID? I don't recall.
I mean, I've heard that phrase before, yes, in that, every increasingly small. I mean, at 50 years old, I kind of feel like I've been living my life in the garbage compactor on Star Wars, where, the room just keeps getting smaller every year. And, we don't have any music.
Yeah, I'm not hearing the music, so I don't know if we're still broadcasting or not. We should be at a commercial break right now.
Ooh, you're not supposed to say that. But it's okay. The FCC doesn't care.
Yep.
Not supposed to.
All right, stand by, everybody.
Generation Wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret Shaving Oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils, plus a hint of menthol, was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
Free Talk Live.
They gently kind of hang on to it or manipulate it with their mouths. The pufferfish then releases toxins that seem to intoxicate the dolphins.
He's getting high. Apparently, there's legislation in India to consider dolphins to be non-human persons. Would dolphins be subject to arrest for getting intoxicated?
How else could they deal with this threat to the dolphins?
Obviously, there's disorderly conduct and public intoxication.
I bet they'll resist arrest, too.
Yeah, because dolphins don't really have hands. They're going to fight you, and a dolphin will rape you.
Think of the money for the prison industrial complex here. I mean, they'll have to build whole new underwater prisons for the dolphins. This could be big.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Yes, it's Discombobulated Talk Live. I am your host, the Reverend Discombobulated Captain Kickass. I've added discombobulated to my name. Be careful I don't add doctor to it as well. Our toll-free number, of course, is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom, if you would like to call in and share your thoughts with us tonight. You can talk about whatever you want. Take control of the airwaves. Bring up anything, literally. That's why it's called Free Talk Live. In the studio tonight, I'm joined by
Peakless Mountaineer.
And nobody.
And I wanted to tell you that the next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though.
If I could open one.
Right. And there's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered master notes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org. So buttons on your underwear. Zippers are quicker. Zippers are quicker. Well, they kind of catch your hairs, but you don't want to. You want to get pinched in the wrong way.
Have you seen There's Something About Mary?
Well, having seen the way they do it in Portland, I don't want to get pinched either.
Yeah, right. What is up with that, by the way? Like, and I know
totalitarian police state nightmare.
I know people are shocked by it currently, right? Or at least the internet seems to be all abuzz about. Can you believe that they're kidnapping people in unmarked vans and uniform? And it's like.
They've been doing that for a long time.
They have been doing that for a long time.
Much worse.
We did cover that, of course, here on Free Talk Live, and I'm sure we'll cover more of it. But I just want to make sure that gets out there. That yes, it is frightening. It is shocking. Your government should not be disappearing people in unmarked vans without arresting them formally, or maybe even that.
Or at all.
It just shouldn't be happening. But it is, and it continues to happen, and you should be frightened by that. Not by the masks or the unmasked, right? That's not what you should be frightened by. You should be frightened by the complete and total level of control that the government has assumed in the course of like less than 3 months, like 15, 16 weeks or whatever it's been, of everything that you do. It now decides magically who gets to work and who doesn't, who's essential and who isn't. Why is that? Did you vote for any of that? No, you didn't. These governors just said, I'm going to make it so. Everybody follow. And everybody went, okay, go to follow.
Yeah. Well, if all else fails, there's always the option of civil obedience. For example, I intend to put a Guy Fawkes mask in my car. So if they demand that I wear a mask in their store, that's fine. I'll wear a Guy Fawkes mask, which I do regularly sometimes. It has absolutely no effectiveness against disease, but neither does your surgical mask. So that's not an argument against it. Maybe I'll get a gorilla mask and a Ronald Reagan mask and
little Point Break action.
Yeah.
We get 4 or 5 of us together, all wearing the presidents.
You want to go in on like 4 dead presidents?
Only if I can be Nixon.
You can be Nixon.
I am not a crook.
I am not a crook. To leave office,
you got to put more gels into it.
Yeah. I'm probably. Oh wait, do that again. Except in the microphone. Yeah, get up on that microphone, son.
I am not a crook.
That's much better than mine.
Get the gels.
I have never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is complete, is abhorrent to every instinct in my body. You call that a body? But as president, you call that a president? I must put the needs of America first.
All right, well, we've been talking about this article from theconversation.com about why do people believe con artists? And I'm just sort of skipping around a little bit, but unpleasant reality. Often, people who are emotionally vulnerable are unwilling to accept an unpleasant reality. That's why when, like, us libertarians and anarchists try to, converse with people and use logic and reason to get our point across, we are correct, but nobody wants to hear it because it interferes with their comfortable reality.
Well, that would imply that the biggest kid on the playground isn't my friend. And I just can't think of that.
That's right. Consider Sir Arthur Conan Doyle the
biggest and most psychotic kid on the playground.
Consider Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the British author who created Sherlock Holmes, the ultimate deductive rationalist, a character who said, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Yet after experiencing family tragedies and the horror of the deaths of World War I, Doyle publicly announced in 1916 that he subscribed to spiritualist beliefs, including that the spirits of the dead can communicate with the living. In 1922, Doyle visited Harry Houdini in his home in New York City and was shown a clever magic trick involving automatic writing on a suspended slate. However, Houdini could not convince a stunned Doyle that this was not paranormal activity.
Yeah, Houdini was pretty famous for exposing the con artists of the Spiritism movement.
Yeah, I wish we had a Houdini-like person who was very skilled at exposing the con artists known as politicians.
Would be nice.
Nobody can do that.
Can nobody do that?
Nobody can do that.
I would be on board for nobody doing that.
Well, watch the show. That's what I'm working on. You see, if you're going to tell them the truth, you have to make them laugh or they'll kill you.
Right.
That Oscar Wilde, I believe.
Indeed. Envy and opportunism sideline doubt. Sometimes people covet what their peers have already achieved so badly that they will overlook the obvious and deceive themselves and others in an effort to claim better opportunities and a better life. In 1822, Scottish conman Gregor MacGregor, that's a great name, Gregor MacGregor, convinced countrymen seeking easy wealth and their neighbors better lives to buy bonds, land, and special privileges. They filled 2 ships to sail to an idyllic country, the land of Poyais, Poiais. MacGregor priced land in Poyais to make it affordable to the Scottish tradesmen and unskilled workers who had heard of promising South American investments but lacked the means to take advantage of them. Poyais had a distinctive flag, its own currency, and a diplomatic office in London. The only problem was Poyais did not exist. Most of those who sailed died on the Mosquito Coast of Honduras. Some of the few survivors were so taken that they refused to accept that Poyes did not actually exist and argued that it was McGregor who had been defrauded.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So these are the lengths that human beings go to be comfortable in their own deception, right? When you've been deceived long enough, human beings get comfortable with, well, just about anything. When you've been deceived long enough, you begin to believe the deceit is reality, and it is most difficult to break people out of that.
There's no such thing as gaslighting. You're just saying that because you're crazy.
Perhaps. Perhaps I am. Free Talk Live, 855 450 free like freedom. Have you been deceived by a con artist? We've got more coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
News from news.bitcoin.com. Another 83 tons in fake gold found in China. Crypto still much harder to counterfeit. Host Stefan Molyneux banned from YouTube. Receives $100,000 in crypto donations afterward. Reporters uncover $11 trillion in offshore government-sanctioned bank accounts. Bitcoin Cash still potentially private and unconfiscatable. Bitcoin.com is your source for getting started with cryptocurrencies. Getting a wallet, buying Bitcoin Cash, mining, and all the latest cryptocurrency news at news.bitcoin.com. Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733. That number again, 855-450-FREE, F-R-E-E, as in freedom, the perspective we like to take here on Free Talk Live for the most part. Freedom is the answer. What's the question? As I like to steal from Ernie. I think it's a pretty good phrase, right? Because it really, for me, it all comes back to freedom. You can take control of the airwaves if you give us a call. Again, 855-450-FREE. I am your host tonight, the Reverend Captain Kickass, and I'm joined by...
Peakless Mountaineer.
And nobody.
So we've been talking about why folks get deceived by con men. And, of course, some of the biggest con men in the world are politicians.
Nobody knows that.
I ignored politicians for the longest time in my life. I just didn't want to have anything to do with it because they all seemed like used car salesmen to me. You know, that stereotypical used car salesman, the slimy guy who's like always trying to convince you to do something you didn't really want to do and separate you from your hard-earned money.
Because it's clear that nobody is telling the truth.
Clearly.
They always had this strange way of talking where you couldn't actually hear them say anything. Like, they start out with a positive, end up with a negative, so it adds up to nothing. Like, you can't actually, grab onto any ideas being expressed, but you get feelings.
Yes. Nobody thinks that's a good idea. Nobody's going to do that when I'm in office.
It is.
Nobody thinks that's a good idea.
It is
Nobody's
psychological.
going to do that when he's in office.
It is psychological manipulation for sure. So, continuing on with this article from The Conversation, greed is blinding. Greed can prevent people from seeing that they have made a decision that defies common sense. In 1925, the con artist Victor Lustig, I believe is the pronunciation, took advantage of the French government's public complaints that it would cost more to renovate a decaying Eiffel Tower than to demolish it. He gathered together scrap iron dealers and convinced them the tower would be taken down and sold to one of them. Then he sold it again. Lustig gained the reputation as the man who sold the Eiffel Tower. Right?
Repeatedly.
Yeah. Ignorance of customs and business practices. Swindlers can find opportunity in their mark's ignorance, a mark being somebody they take advantage of. Swindlers can find opportunity.
Not M-A-R-X ignorance.
Right, in their mark
which
apostrophe
is a
ignorance.
Popular brand of ignorance.
And unfamiliarity with local customs. The confidence man, George C. Parker, sold the Brooklyn Bridge 4 times. Usually to recent immigrants who did not understand that the bridge could not be sold. He also sold Grant's Tomb, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and the Statue of Liberty.
Wow.
That's a lot of copper.
Yeah. Misery generates desperate belief. Desperate people can suspend disbelief. People believe promises have to be true when the alternative is too miserable.
And that, I think, is exactly why it is so hard to swallow the idea that maybe the government isn't looking out for you. Yes. Maybe taxation is mere robbery.
Yeah.
People have been conditioned.
Wizard's first rule.
Yeah, people have been conditioned to believe that without the organization known as government, that we would immediately turn into something something
Mad Max,
Mad
Beyond
Max.
Thunderdome.
Yeah, motorcycles and mohawks and leather and, people in chains and all that kind of thing.
I would, but only on the weekend. Like, if that was a theme park, I'd go chill there on the weekends.
Indeed.
But I wouldn't want to live my whole life there.
Indeed. Because the alternative to them, right, because that's what they immediately believe, they've been primed to believe so. They've been publicly educated to believe that that's what would happen. And so, of course, they're primed to believe that. People believe promises have to be true and the alternative is too miserable. John D. Rockefeller's father, William, was a bigamist and seller of alleged cures and ineffective patent medicines to ailing people. Riding the circuit through rural towns, Bill, quote, Doc Rockefeller, is said to have tutored his son, the builder of the Standard Oil Trust, in business.
Now that's
Now
kind
that
of
has
a
a lot
bad
of explanatory power,
doesn't it?
I don't know, because if you look at what he did in business, he got a pretty good size of the market share. At one point, he had an 80% market share, although he was down to like 60% by the time they took antitrust action against him. But during that time, the price of oil fell by a factor of 10. Okay, so $100 worth of oil when he started was $10 worth of oil when he finished, and that improved a lot of people's lives. So you didn't want to compete against him, but if you were his customer, you were winning in a big way.
Well, he also single-handedly destroyed our entire medical establishment.
Interestingly enough, all those guys, when they started doing their philanthropy, that was frequently when they caused problems.
Yes.
It wasn't in their business.
Well, no, it was a 1-2 punch, really, because he had the connections for politics. So he used his political connections to start putting a lot of pressure on every single medical academy in the country. So they're getting sued left and right because there's all these new extra laws. And there he goes on his philanthropy, and he gives all this money away because he's just such a generous guy, and it just happens to be only to those institutions that are teaching doctors to prescribe his petrochemicals.
Right. Right. And this is how government helps perpetuate pseudo monopolies, right? And that's not to say that there isn't competition, but it helps these companies limit their competition by force of law. Right, so if you want to jump in the pool and start swimming and compete against these guys, you can't because you're prohibited by law. You have to jump through so many hoops in order to do so that it is not only cost prohibitive, but it doesn't make any sense for you financially as an entrepreneur.
Why can the bank rob you blind? Because it's against the law to sell you an alternative.
Right.
Why can Big Pharma feed you poison? Because it's against the law to sell you an alternative. So you try their poison or you just die.
So sometimes it's about trust. People believe stories because they trust those who tell them. They don't know how to or don't want to bother to investigate claims or see no need to do so. Starting as early as the mid-1980s, swindler Bernie Madoff sought investors in his Ponzi scheme amongst wealthy Jewish retirees and their philanthropic organizations in the U.S. and in Europe, among members of aristocratic families. His victims simply trusted others in the group who vouched for Madoff and his investments. That's it. It was just they trusted somebody else that they shouldn't have, or that somebody vouched for a guy that they shouldn't have.
But Bernie Madoff was a piker. You want to see a real Ponzi scheme? Look at Social Security.
Oh, right. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
how you do a Ponzi scheme.
Sometimes claims are difficult or costly to disprove. In 1912, a skull, some bones, and other relics were found in Piltdown in East Sussex in the UK. The remains appeared to be from a creature who could be the long-sought missing link between apes and humans. It took over 40 years to confirm that the Piltdown man was a hoax and over 100 years to identify who forged it. It's hard to disprove untruths. Consider the ongoing searches for things like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, for example.
Well, and this is the same thinking of how dare you question the CDC. They
Right.
have a finding, and we trust them. The World Health Organization agrees with them. How could you possibly go against them?
Yeah, this willful ignorance of people to trust an organization with letters, an acronym, WHO, CDC, that kind of a thing, without looking into it for themselves or at least finding other opinions and comparing them is ridiculous to me. I don't understand how we got so far down this rabbit hole.
Well, let's see. We started out with schools that taught us regurgitating what you're told is what learning is.
And they also were a parental figure in most of our lives. Like, the government raised us. Of course we trust them. They're our parents. They're looking out for us.
See, I always looked at the government more as that creepy uncle that you wanted to stay away from.
Creepy Uncle Sam?
Yeah.
Pointing, I want you. He's like pointing at you all like, oh, no.
Well, you can want me from afar, dude.
Bad touch, Uncle Sam. Bad touch, Uncle Sam.
Yeah. I do not consent.
855 450 free. We've got more Free Talk Live coming right up.
Have you ever thought about turning your Glock, XD Family, or 1911 handgun into a semi-automatic carbine? It only takes about 30 seconds. The MechTech Carbine Upper is classified as an accessory and can be delivered right to your doorstep with no FFL or background check required. It's the world's most versatile pistol accessory. Build your custom upper today. Simply go to handgunconversion.com. That's handgunconversion.com.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called federal tax management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give federal tax management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. Silverlungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Welcome back, everybody.
Thanks.
I didn't say welcome back, nobody.
Oh, sorry.
But I guess nobody is.
Say welcome back, Cotter.
I guess nobody is part of everybody. So if I say welcome back, everybody, nobody is immediately included.
Welcome back.
At any rate, our toll-free number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. We might have enough time to get you on the line if you call now. And with me in the studio tonight, I'm the captain, by the way, and joining me is...
Peakless Mountaineer.
Nobody.
Peakless Mountaineer. I just want to say that a bunch so I get used to saying it.
No
Peakless
peeking.
Mountaineer.
Please do.
Yeah. Does that mean you don't peak? You don't climb mountains and go over the top and back down the other side. You just sort of go around the mountain?
Nope, just keep going up. Just keep going up.
Well, eventually you're going to reach the peak.
No, there is no peak.
But
I climb the mountain that has no peak.
What mountain is that?
Well, it's the opposite of the abyss.
Oh, I see. Right. It's the opposite of the the black hole or whatever, right?
The bottomless pit.
Bottomless pit. Okay,
Yeah.
Got you. Sorry, I think you described that earlier, but hey, sometimes I forget things, so forgive me, sir.
When you look too long into the abyss looks also into you.
It does.
Well, and the trick there is to just keep looking. No, it really is. Look into the abyss until it looks into you, and then you find the abyss inside yourself, and then you know exactly where your abyss is.
Okay, so we've been talking about how...
Now, is this an abyss or an abyss? Are we talking about the woman who runs the abbey?
You shouldn't look into that.
You should not look into that now. You should look into why people believe con artists, and we've been doing that here tonight.
We've been believing con artists?
We've been looking into why, the reasons why people believe the con artists. One of the reasons is people want dreams to be true. Sometimes, despite built-in skepticism, people badly want improbable but wonderful things to be true, to move the world with a dream. For instance, if an alien spacecraft had really crashed and were being analyzed in Area 51 in Nevada, it could mean that interstellar travel is possible. Well, we know that it is because we're kind of doing it.
Not interstellar.
Traveling through space.
Traveling
but not
through
between
space.
stars.
But not between stars. Yet.
The problem with interstellar differences is that the nearest star to us is Alpha Proxima, and it's 4 light years away. Doesn't look like it has any habitable planets. But that means that if you want to get in your spaceship and go there, even if you go at the maximum possible speed, it's a fully 4-year trip.
Right.
And considering that even getting up to 1/2 C is a huge challenge, it's going to be a lot longer than 4 years.
Yes. Well, on the bright side, from your perspective, no time will pass.
Well, until you get back and all your friends are dead.
Well, there is that.
Yeah. The other reason here that I think pertains,
we've been never come back.
We've been talking a little bit about, the whole mask thing and the government crackdown on the coronavirus, and why now? Why this particular virus, right?
They're
keep
trying to
asking that
mask
question.
something that was going on.
Well, I think they're taking advantage of social media, and this particular reason in this article says repetition. The hallmark of social media creates belief. Hearing a false claim over and over can be enough to generate belief in it.
I didn't believe that when I first heard it, but I'm starting to think it's really true.
And in addition, hearing a false claim over and over again can be enough to generate a belief in it.
Well, there's an old saying, if you're going to tell a lie, tell a big one and tell it over and over.
Yep.
A common advertising and public relations strategy is to be extremely visible by multiplying impressions. We talked a little about this earlier, so that people see the message everywhere. Now,
and are impressed.
The internet has done a lot of things to improve a lot of people's lives and make things more efficient and easier and all that kind of a thing.
And then came Facebook.
And the one thing that I think everybody can agree on, or most people can agree on, is that it is the world's largest marketing machine.
Oh, by far.
Right? If you want to market something, it has replaced all other forms of marketing as, the place that you want to be, right? All the other forms of marketing are almost secondary now. The internet comes first. There's been a bit of an inversion.
Aren't we on an advertising-supported radio show?
I believe we are.
Okay, groovy. I just wanted to make sure.
Isn't that radio show on the internet?
I'm sorry, what?
Isn't that radio show on the internet?
It is on the internet as well.
Correct. So it is secondary. But my point here is that with all of this going on, my theory about this being sort of a litmus test to see, not litmus test, but like a test to see, how dumb the public education system has made the masses, right? How dumb the media has made the masses in getting them to go along with all of this ridiculous stuff with the lockdown and the masks.
None of
is
which
a result of the repetition on social media.
I mean, none of it makes sense is the thing. Like closing one of the doors on your grocery store so everybody has to go through the same door.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of the opposite of social distancing, isn't it? But yet they do it straight-faced with no idea what they're trying to accomplish.
Indeed. And finally, people believe what others appear to believe. This is the go-along, right? The crowd factor, right? Nobody's as dumb as all of us. And I don't mean nobody. I mean, like, everybody can be dumb individually, but people are much dumber.
I was going to say, I'm a lot smarter than many of us.
When they get into large groups. People have a built-in willingness to defer to confident assertions made by an apparent expert or legitimate authority. Read government, authority, as far as experts that the government trots out.
World Health Organization, the church.
In experiments by Stanley Milgram, we all know about that. We've talked about that repeatedly here on Free Talk Live. Ordinary people complied with directives from a scientist to administer to subjects what they falsely believed were painful shocks. A passionate and convincing swindler, often masquerading as an expert, for example, an art dealer or researchers of miracle cures, exploits that weakness to get people to believe false claims. A related mechanism introduced by Robert Cialdini, I'm probably mispronouncing that, is called social proof. Seeing someone else do what you are thinking about doing frees you to act. It's evidence of the correctness of the action. This is why con men often use shills, helpers, who confirm to the victim that the con man's scheme is legitimate. Monkey see, monkey do is basically the nuts and bolts of what this is saying. And so when a monkey sees another monkey wearing a mask, the monkey goes, oh, it must be the right thing to put on a mask.
Well, and that taps into a really deep instinct because on a very real level, if you are rejected from your group, you will die. So you want to be doing what your group is doing.
And not just that, but frequently, if the group is cooking their meat before you eat it, and you're not cooking their meat before you eat it, well, there may be a reason that all the living members of the tribe cook their meat before they eat it because raw meat might kill you.
In conclusion, the article says society, including government, cannot function well if every claim requires fact-checking. Con artists thrive year in and year out in business, politics, and everyday experience. Ultimately, however, a world of alternative facts is not the world that our dreams want to be true. I can't say enough about how this article applies to what's going on today. Right? Yeah. It really is a breakdown and outline of why people are doing what they're doing today and why it seems so ridiculous to those of us who have the wherewithal to analyze it from the perspective of reason and logic.
Well, and in those Milgram experiments, so the guy has a lab coat and a position and authority and wow, if you just stack a government license on top of that, you can get away with admitting that you lied about the ineffectiveness of masks.
Yep.
And still no one loses your credibility.
Yeah.
Everyone still trusts you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, not everybody.
Well, okay, but the majority.
Nobody don't trust none of that.
No, nobody got time for that.
Don't nobody not trust none of that?
This is what happens in my brain all day now. People wonder why I don't get much done.
Negative to get back where you started.
I don't know. I can only count to 4 as a musician, so that might be a stretch to do the quadruple negative.
Don't you do like 6/7 time or 7/8 time or something?
3/4.
Oh, I know.
But that's where you call 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. That's 3/4.
So you just waltz.
You do it 4 times. It's a swing beat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, indeed it is. At any rate. I believe this relates back to the priming stuff too, right?
Absolutely.
This article ties right into that, where you've been sort of told these phrases, these lines, these words in advance of what's going on, and now that they're being spouted off by officials, you automatically assume that they're true. And by you, I mean
like
the general.
It's your prime directive.
It is. We're out of time for this evening, so thank you to all the listeners. We're here 7 nights a week. If you missed any portion of the show, you can get it at archives.freetalklive.com. Thanks, everybody.
Except the part you can.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had got involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without